Hey, so welcome to another great Lunch and Learn. Today we have Grainger here with us. And on the line, you'll see several boxes, but I'll go ahead and introduce who's here with us today. We have Emmanuel Manny Noguera. Did I pronounce
Yes,
that correct? Okay.
yes.
Lizette Estefan, Daryl Mendez, and Alicia Brown. Manny is the government account representative. Lizette is a senior government account manager. Daryl is the district sales manager. And Alicia is the e-commerce solutions manager. So they're all going to have a part in today's overview of who Grainger is and what they do. But I'm going to go ahead and toss it over to start with Daryl.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Alexa. And we greatly appreciate the opportunity that we have here today. So my name is Daryl Mendez. I've worked at Grainger for 13 years. My entire career has really been here out of South Florida. So we really kind of understand the market, the culture, understand the needs of Broward County. As the district sales manager, I'm responsible for overseeing all government accounts in the state. So we cover all the universities, all the schools, as well as all the cities and counties. We've done a few lunch and learns with City of Miami. We've had some high-level strategic meetings with Miami-Dade County as well. We're helping those counties really meet their sustainability goals, their small business and diversity goals, in addition to just staying compliant, right, around their contract and managing their budget as responsibly as possible, right? So there are hundreds of thousands of Grainger accounts out there. Very few have a dedicated rep. Broward County happens to have two of them with both Manny and Lisette, so you guys are in fantastic hands. We want to be a trusted advisor. We want to continue to help you solve problems and really be an extension of the county, right? So any problems or issues that you're running into from a procurement perspective, we want to be here to help. And a lot of our reps are underutilized today, right? So hopefully after today's conversation, you'll learn a little bit more as to how you can leverage our group. So I'm not going to steal the thunder from Manny in terms of the agenda and some of the additional talking points. So Manny, I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really glad to see so many people here today. Well, my name is Manny Noguera. I started this current role back in February as the account representative for Broward. I cover Broward County, and I also cover the Broward County Public Schools and the Broward Sheriff's Office. Basically, I've lived in South Florida my entire life. I currently live in Davie, and it's very exciting to work with one of the largest and most diverse counties in the U.S. Definitely a lot of challenges and a lot of complexity, but that's what makes it fun. So I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you. Since I started, I've had a chance to speak to a lot of procurement professionals throughout Broward. I believe as many as a dozen different departments within Broward. I've put a lot of miles on my car. I've driven all the way up to Deerfield, down to Hollywood, everything in between. And I really hope to meet a lot of people that I haven't met yet. Hopefully I get to tour some facilities I haven't been to yet. And basically today's call is really about Grainger. Who is Grainger? How can we help? And most importantly, how can we help Broward achieve its goals? And aside from that, we're going to talk a little bit about the NASPO cooperative agreement and some of the tailored Grainger solutions that we can offer Broward County. Then at the end, we'll turn it over to some questions, and we're going to have Alicia Brown give a demonstration of our punch-out system and hopefully teach some of you some neat tricks for how to reduce the time it takes to place orders. And remove some of the complexities of placing orders. All right, turning over to the next slide. Why Grainger? Most importantly, you're going to have access to state-of-the-art reporting, and that's going to give you more visibility to what you're spending and how that impacts your total cost of purchasing something. You're also going to be able to reduce complexity by utilizing some of our purchasing vehicles, our punch out system, and reducing costs in your operational expenses, reducing some of the steps involved to cut a PO, managing the compliance to both your internal and external policies, contribute to your diversity requirements. We have several small business distributor alliance members as part of our network. And finally, gain expertise without adding headcount. And like Daryl mentioned, Lisette and I, we're basically an extension of Broward County. We're almost like an employee of Broward. Our job is to help Broward with anything that they might need. No project is too small or too large, hopefully. And let's turn it over to the third slide here. I think I'll let Lisette talk a little bit about this as well, but we'll touch on the NASPO agreement, how you can gain competitive pricing, access to services that we didn't offer in the past, from OSHA audits to inventory management. And a lot of the expertise that we have, our scale, our distribution network has a lot of scale. It allows Broward to have access to products at a high rate of speed. We have many suppliers that work with us, and hopefully our ease of ordering is up to par, and you could call or stop by any branch and get instant product or technical support. So with that, I'll turn it over to Lisette, who has a little more expertise on our NASPO agreement, and she'll talk a little bit more on this slide about some of the different services and solutions that we can offer. Lisette?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lisetta Stefan. I have been with Grainger for 16 years. I am a Broward resident, so I hold this account very dear to me. I live it every day. I drive in the streets. I am part of the community. So what happens in Broward is very important to me. And tying that into what we can do for you, another thing that we can do for you is, what are the benefits that you have with the NASPO agreement? We can customize market baskets. We have large order and volume discounts, easy identifiable environmental, preferably products. I know that sustainability is very important to Broward County, and we want to make sure that we tie into the needs of the county and the goals of the county. We have access to over 1.7 million products, real-time product availability and order tracking, dedicated resource to assess your site's consolidated spend to help maximize savings, and a minimum of 5% off of Grainger contract reference price. I will show you on the next slide your discounts, and you will see that you will surpass that 5%. But this cooperative emphasizes best value for the contractors. Price, quality, reliability, warranties, and service with favorable terms and conditions. It allows you to leverage spend through a single solicitation that improves productivity to what you do every day. It's intended to reduce the total cost of the procurement to procure items. It should help you drive supplier diversity. It gives you consolidated access to a broad range of products. Grainger reduces the number of bids, and it makes things easier for you. It also allows you to avoid the repetitive bid preparation expenses that go along with bidding. We offer competitive pricing, like I said, market baskets, category pricing. The cooperative removes barriers. Sourcing compliance beyond what's in our catalog. If there's something that you need that's not in our catalog, we can go outside of our catalog, contact our current suppliers, and even if we have to contact other suppliers for those items, we can do that and get you the items that you need when you need them. And it provides additional incentives and rebates to member incentives for growth incentives, in e-commerce incentives, green spend incentives for environmentally preferable products. You get prepaid standard freight, special packaging and specialty shipping is excluded. I will move over. Oh, the next slide, please. And then here are your discounts. As you can see, we do categorize it by different categories. But if you look to the left of the screen, you will see that the reason why we structure your discounts the way that we do is because the county purchase is very unpredictable. If you look to the left, you will see that 90% of what you buy, you only buy once or twice. So it doesn't make sense for us to place discounts on items when those items will not be repeated as a purchase. So what we do is we structure it as an entire segment. So janitorial, lamps, lamping, fasteners, power sources, hand tools, et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to waste time on that. But as you can see, those are your discount percentages for the entire category. And what does this mean to Broward County? You don't have to spend time trying to get quotes or bids out every time you make a purchase. Your cooperative agreement already gives you deep discounts across the entire category of purchases that you make. The county places over thousands of orders every year, over 3,000 unique items. So take that into perspective. That puts things into perspective. This will allow you to spend less time quoting and more time getting the items that you need and your job done in other areas. So that is what that's who Grainger is. A brief discussion of the NASPO contract and your discounts. Are there any questions or comments that you would like for us to answer at this point?
Lisette, I wanted to just make a quick comment. You articulated that perfectly in terms of our setup and our structure with the discounts. What I did want to make known as well to everyone that's on this call, more often than not, these category discounts aggressively price the items that you're purchasing in such a way that they are appealing, right, to the county. But if you ever run into a scenario where the price you are seeing on Grainger.com is still not comparable to what you're seeing in other suppliers or something else you're finding on the internet, you can reach out to Manny or Lisette, right? And they do have the ability to deviate even further from the contract pricing. For example, if you were making a very large bulk purchase, a significant size order, what we would then do is go to our supplier. It could be a Georgia Pacific or DeWalt or Purell or Gojo, right? And we would have a conversation with them to say, hey, can you give us cost support, right, and additional pricing relief because they're going to be placing such a large order, and we need to deviate even further from the contracted pricing. Manny and Lisette do have that flexibility. We don't want pricing to be a reason or an obstacle as to why you don't buy from Grainger, right? But we structure this in such a way because of your unpredictable purchases and the nature of how you buy. But I also want to make known that if you're not comfortable with the price that you're paying, we are able to go in and make some adjustments for you from time to time. So I just wanted to call that out. I don't see any questions listed out on the messaging, but if you guys do have any questions, please feel free to ask them along the course of the presentation.
And Alicia,
Awesome.
you can.
Thank you. Yeah, Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Yes, I had to just get my microphone turned on. So thank you all for your time today. So the first thing that I'm going to be talking to you about is what is a punch out. So you all utilize PeopleSoft as your procurement vehicle. And what a punch out does is it's an integrated e-procurement system. So in this case, right, PeopleSoft, that enables your requesters to view our catalog online. And so what are the benefits of a supplier punch out? So there are many, but some of them that are top of mind, right? There's a streamlined and efficient way to add items to a requisition. So no more manually inputting information in, like the part number, the description, the price, the unit of measure, right? The punch out catalog is going to streamline how you do that today. It also provides Broward with better information. It's an e-commerce like shopping experience, right? I think in the world we live in today, we're all familiar with how to shop on a website. And it gives you access to your real-time contract pricing catalog items, and availability. So on this slide, we're just kind of giving a high level overview of some of the features and functionality that you all have access to within the punch-out. What I'm going to do is a live demo. I know that's a little nerve-wracking, right? What could go wrong? But I'm going to get into a live demo of how the punch-out shopping works. So the next slide here that I have, this is what it looks like in PeopleSoft. I don't have access to your PeopleSoft system, right? So somebody was kind enough to give me this screenshot. So when you're in your PeopleSoft system and you're creating a requisition, under web, you have the Grainger link. So when you click on Grainger from underneath the browse supplier websites, you are going to punch out to our catalog. So forgive me, I'm going to unshare for a second. And I am now going to take you to an instance of the punch out shopping experience for Broward County. How do I know this is for Broward County? You can see here in the upper right-hand corner, we have your company name listed. So now, how do we start shopping? There's many ways that you can get products into your shopping cart. So the first thing that I want to show you is if you come to your products, you will see all the different categories that you can purchase from on your contract. The other thing I just want to call out is if you click all product categories here at the top, or if you come to my custom catalog here, either one, when you click it, the screen's going to refresh and you're going to see a listing. So now you're going to see it like from a visual perspective, the different categories that you're able to purchase. So now let's say you're looking for something in cleaning and janitorial. I think I saw that on the discount slide, right? So let's click into it. There's over 12,000 products that make up cleaning and janitorial, right? So that's a lot of different types of products that we sell to keep your buildings up and running. So one thing that I want to say is that I do know, right? I think we talked about green items in the presentation as well. You see, whenever you're doing a search within the punch out, you will be able to toggle two things: country of origin as the United States, and if products are green. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to turn this on to green, and you can see now that the products have been reduced, and now you'll see the different categories that fall into green. So I'm going to go ahead and just click into cleaning chemicals as an example. Now, keep in mind, right, there's an abundance of cleaning chemicals, right? There's different, what are we trying to clean? How are we trying to clean it? We don't want to ruin what we're trying to clean. So there's all these different factors in what we're trying to purchase. So you can, if you know a brand, for example, that you're looking for, you can simply click on the brand that you're looking for. Now I have two filters on, Ability 1 as the brand and a green. And you can see I'm looking at 5 different products. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and click on this first laundry detergent as an example. You'll be able to see your price. So this is real-time pricing. You're also going to be able to see real-time availability. If this zip code is inaccurate, you simply select change and enter in the correct one and hit save. It might take 1 to 2 seconds for it to update, but essentially now, whenever you're shopping through the punch out catalog, we're going to be factoring that in as your zip code for the real-time availability dates. From here, you can also add to a shopping list. So if I click add to list, I'm presented with this screen. You can do one of two things, right? You can either create a new list, simple, create a new list. I'm just going to call it laundry, hopefully I can spell, AB, just for my initials, so I know it's mine. And then I can put a description if I want, and then I'm going to click save. Once I click save, I get a flyout. So right at this point, I can go ahead and click view list. If I don't take any action, it's going to disappear all on its own, right? The other way to access your list really quickly, I just want to show you, like, where'd that go? I'm not sure how to go back to my lists. You just come to account, hover over it, and then you would click on my lists, and we'll visit that here shortly. The other thing I just want to show, if you wanted to add it to an existing list, easy peasy, right? You just click the list, save. Once you hit save, you can then go and view that list, and this item would be available for purchase on it. Down below, you're going to be able to see all the product details, right? So depending on the type of product, right, there's good information to help you make an educated purchasing decision. The other thing I want to call out, because I know that green and diversity was brought up on in the earlier presentation, is that you will see under compliance and restrictions, hey, whenever you see this green leaf, that means it's a green product. And whenever you see this icon, this means that it's supplier diversity. And if you're ever unaware, you just hover over it and a little flyout comes out and tells you its description. The other thing that I will say, if there's anything from a documentation perspective, so this is an SDS sheet, right, that's specific to this product. But if there was anything else while you're shopping, it will be visible under the documents here, and you'll be able to click it, download it, save it to your computer, whatever you deem necessary. The other thing I want to call out too is that you can compare products. So it's a simple check of a box. You get your compare flyout. This stays, okay, until you remove the items from the compare list. So I can collapse it at this point. So I'm going to collapse it as of right now. And then I'm going to just go back to laundry detergents as an example. And I'm just going to add another item to compare. So we can kind of see how the comparison works. You can compare up to 5 items. And let's just say I'm going to compare these two. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly click compare. And now you're going to see the differences. So the first thing is right off the bat, you're going to see price and you're going to see availability. From here, you can add to cart or to list. And everything that's highlighted in it looks like a light blue to me. That means there's a difference, right? There's something different between the two products, right? The one on the left, for example, is biodegradable. The Tide is not. So you'll be able to see the key attributes that are different to help you make the type of purchase that you would like to make.
Hey, Alicia.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey, this is Daryl. So we had just 2 questions that popped up on the chat from Bernadette Green, and 2 really good questions. The first one was, does the Punchout website record the purchases made by the county in order to show some of the most bought products, the money spent, et cetera? So I shared with her that we have reporting capabilities with our item purchase history and our procurement tendencies to provide that level of detail via Excel files and also PowerPoint presentations and slides that we can share with the county as frequently as needed. But through the Punchout specifically, is some of that information available?
As of today, that information is not available through the Punchout. So it would be more of those back-end reportings that we would provide to the county outside of the Punchout shopping experience.
Okay, perfect. So Bernadette, if you tell us, right, like we need to see this reporting once a month, once every 2 weeks, once a quarter, we can actually automate those reports to be sent out to you so that you get visibility to your spend. For a lot of our customers, it really helps them understand their budgets better and also understand, if they need to ask for more money in the following years, et cetera. By reviewing their previous purchase history, they can get some really good intel to the business. So we're happy to provide you with that reporting, but it's not available through the Punchout. We would just automate that request on our side and then email it to you or any of the responsible parties. The other question that Bernadette asked was, does Grainger prefer the Punchout, right, as opposed to making purchases through a P card? Do we have a preference, Alicia, as to how we could handle their orders?
We do not have a preference. I think what's important is we always want to try our best from a Grainger perspective to adhere to Broward County's purchasing processes. So if P cards are allowed, that's completely fine. From a Grainger perspective, we can accommodate any and all order channels from the county.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, shall I continue?
Question on here, Alicia, that you can continue, and then I'll kind of read through this one and then see where we can kind of answer it. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, and so if I want to remove something from a compare, I just click the X, for example, on the screen. You can also add items to compare. You just have to know the part number in this screen, and then you just simply add to compare. I'm going to add this particular item to my shopping cart. So you get this pop out. You can either view cart or you can continue shopping. I'm going to continue shopping because I want to show you all a couple more things. One thing I will just state, if you ever click the Grainger logo in the upper left-hand corner, that brings you back to what I would call the home page, just so you're aware. And now I want to add something to my cart using the bulk order pad. So the bulk order pad is going to come in hand when you know the item numbers. So there's a couple of different ways you can utilize the bulk order pad. You can use it from like a single perspective, like I just want to add a couple of SKUs right to my cart. I'm just going to go and I can click add to cart. You can also do add to list, right? So now let's say you had multiple items, you know the SKUs, you want to add them all to a shopping list. Instead of individually adding them, you just come here, click boom, add to list. And that same screen that I showed you previously is what's going to appear. You can create new list, you can search for your list name and then add it to cart, right? Or add to list. Super simple. So I'll just, the other thing I wanted to show you too is in the case you might have an abundance of product SKUs. So let's say you had like 15, for example. If you click this show more fields for copy and paste, you now have the ability. So what I typically do is I open like an Excel document, for example. Column A is going to be my part number and column B is going to be my quantity. It's all in Excel. I just copy and paste it from there. And then from there, you can add to cart or add to list as well. So if you already have that documentation, it's a quick add to cart or list versus doing it one by one in the bulk order page. The other way that you can start shopping, right, is probably the most obvious way, which is going to be using the search bar. So you can enter in a keyword, you can enter in a part number, a model number, a manufacturing part number, right, to help bring back the details that you want. I guess the one thing I will say is when you are typing in a keyword, sometimes less is more. MRO can be a difficult category to navigate in general, right? And then we sell a lot of products as well. Our goal, and we spend a lot of money on our search functionality, but our goal is always to get you to the right product the first time, right? So that's our overall goal. And one thing I'll show you is we do want your feedback. So if you're ever in the punch out, you'll see little like buttons that might say provide search feedback or provide image feedback. If something is not right in the way it's working from your perspective, use those feedback links and it goes right to our voice of customer teams for review. So I'm just going to do a generic search on gloves, for example. So you will see we do have type ahead, right? So if you start typing gloves, we're going to try to start assuming what do you want. We're going to offer up suggestions. We're going to offer up product categories, and we're going to offer up brands. So from here, you can just, if I just hit enter, right, I'm going to get a broad view of all the different type of safety gloves that we sell, okay? So let's just say I know I'm looking for cut resistant gloves. That's like the specific purchase. I know that's the type of glove I need. When you click on cut resistant gloves, then you're going to see the different types of cut resistant gloves that we offer, right? Are you looking for leather? Are you looking for knit? Not sure I really understand what the other ones are, but you know, there's all these offerings. So if I click on leather, now from leather, there's still a lot of products. Our goal again is like, how do we get you where you need to be quickly, but also in a way that it's the right product that you're looking for. So now the one thing I wanted to show you is if you see here on this left-hand navigation, it's expanded, right? Before it was like brand and price, green, country of origin. Now, okay, we're getting into the glove type of information. Well, what type of style glove are you looking for? Are you looking for some sort of cut level, right? The more parameters that you put on the left-hand side, that will continue to drill these different types of gloves down to, a more precise search item. So I would just say to start looking at the left-hand navigation to try to start to get you where you need to be. The other thing I will say is if you scroll down, you're going to be able to see all 448 items, starting with light duty cut resistant work gloves. And then if you see, we have different headers as you scroll. Right now I'm into medium. Then I'm into like medium duty with high visibility, right? So you can see all the different like headers of the different types of gloves. What you can do is you have those same headers up here. Okay. And you can use this arrow to go over to see more. But let's say you already knew, okay, I know I need something medium. I want it to be a high visibility driver glove. That's the type. If I click on that, now I refresh and that's all I'm looking at. So now, again, attributes on the left are now specific to this type of glove. Okay. I can also click on another one. Now I'm looking at 2. And again, my headers will tell me which 2 I'm looking at. And then from here, you can start we put everything in like a table view for you when we serve up multiple results. So this way you can do a high level comparison, right, on the type of information. Now, if you wanted to see all the technical specs, right, you'd have to use that compare feature that I showed you earlier to be able to see all the different deltas or differences between the types of gloves you're looking for. Okay, and then it's a simple click off, right? If you click it again, it's going to refresh, and now I'm just back to this one type of glove. So let me just go ahead and add something to my cart. Once I select my size, that's when I see my availability, and I'm just going to go ahead and add to cart. The other thing I just want to say is when you're in this view here, if you click on view product details or the description, that will open it up so you can view all the different technical specs. If there's any compliance and restrictions, right, you'd see all that information. Now from here, I'm just going to go ahead and show you real quick. I want to show you 2 other things. So my lists. What you can do is if you have reorder type items, right? I always order a widget, I need it monthly almost. Hey, create a list. And then when you do create your list, the nice thing about a list is you can continue to add items to it. You can create multiple lists. You can add the entire list to cart. You can also click on a list. And let's say you don't want the whole, right? You don't want the whole list right now. I just want certain items from the list. You simply check the boxes of the items that you want. Come to the top. I think it might be at the bottom as well. Sorry if I'm making you scroll sick. And then you click add selected to cart. And now just those 3 items that I selected will be add to cart. So, and it's telling me, hey, now you have 5 products in your shopping cart. The other thing that I want to show you is in the event that there is a need for an e-quote, we do support those as well. And the nice thing about those is that as long as the e-quote is active, you can add the quote to cart. So I'm just going to come over to account and then I'm going to click catalog item quotes. You can see the start date and the expiration date for the quote. And at this point, you can see this is the quote that I'm currently on. If I just click on to the next one, you see now in my flyout over here to the right, it updated to the quote ending in 5169. You can add the entire quote to cart, or you can view the quote here, or simply click on the quote number and add individual items from the quote to the shopping cart as well. Okay, so just different ways to get items into a cart. And then the last e-quote we do is special order quotes. And in this event, you do have to add the entire quote to cart. But we offer that to you. You just click on it, but you can also click on the link to view the different products that are in your special order quote as well.
Hey, Alicia, we're a little bit over on time, so just want to kind of give you like maybe a 2-minute warning so that we
Yep.
can sure we have enough time to field any additional questions as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Daryl. And I'm going to wrap it up. So now at this point, I'm going to view cart. And then when I hit submit cart, you're going to get a pop-up. So let me just say one thing. You're also still going to see, your availability. You can update, like maybe I want 10 of these. If you want to remove something, right, you have that ability to update your cart before you go back into PeopleSoft. But at this point, if I hit submit cart, just FYI, if you ever need help, that's our tier 1 customer support team. They can help you. And then when you click yes, essentially, you are going to come back to PeopleSoft, right? So now this is what it looks like in your system so that you can complete the checkout process. You can submit your requisition for approval. And then once that requisition is approved, it comes over to Grainger for fulfillment. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Alicia. I did have one question that kind of came up that could still be relevant to the punch out, and Robert Gleason asked a variety of really good questions. But the fourth one was around the county certified small and local business program. I'm not quite sure if we have any small businesses that are local to the county that are selling their product through Grainger.com, but I do know that all of the small and diverse businesses that we have inside of our catalog today are flagged with an icon. I think it's a black icon that shows supplier diversity, similar to the green icon that we have for environmentally preferable products. But the real question is around, is there a way to prioritize those items within the catalog, or just kind of figure out a way to kind of filter for those types of products today? Do we have that ability maybe beyond just adding them to a personal list?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is going to be adding them to a personal list. As of today, there's not a way to filter on supplier diversity, but it is something that we can take back internally to see if it's something that we could potentially offer in the future.
Okay, that's great. And so, Robert, just so you're aware, we're doing this with Miami-Dade County today. One of their initiatives is to, purchase not just from small businesses, but small businesses that are local. So we've identified about 3 or 4 different small businesses in Miami-Dade County. And essentially, because of the way that Broward County orders, very similar to Miami-Dade County, it's very difficult to predict what you're going to buy. So asking those small businesses to stock a bunch of product on their shelves, it's not really helping them a ton. So what we do is they become the customer service arm. You work directly with the small business, and then you identify the products that you need. That small business then turns and essentially sells you the product at the same contract pricing that you have, but we ship the product directly to your doorstep so that they're not having to incur those additional costs of putting items on their shelves. So it's a great program because the counties get 100% small business credit, and the small businesses are also able to stay very flexible and nimble with not having to incur the cost of buying up a ton of inventory that may potentially not be purchased again in the future. So we can probably do a whole separate hour conversation around our small business program and how it works, but great question nonetheless, and we'd be happy to kind of explore a little bit more about that in the future. We want it today really to be a tasting menu of all the different things that we could do and how to use us as a better purchasing vehicle. But I think that there's definitely warranted to have some separate side conversations around more details around these capabilities.
Agreed. Thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Perfect. Lisette, I don't know if you wanted to kind of close with some of the information that's on this slide in terms of how to be reached, but do we have any other questions from people on the call?
I think a question just came up on the chat. I saw something flash.
So one of the questions that came up, Alicia, is how can the items be paid via P-card? Is the checkout different? Does the cardholder access the site for pricing through the punch out?
Oh, yeah, no, great question. So I think if you're purchasing with your P card, that's going to be done outside of PeopleSoft. Now I don't want to give incorrect information, but from a PeopleSoft perspective today, orders are not paid with a P card unless someone called after the fact to pay that open invoice with a P card. We do have other ways for you to place a P card order if Broward County is okay with using a different system outside of PeopleSoft for those purchases.
Can I ask a quick question? I know we're running out of time. And maybe it came up, my boss called me, so I was trying to multitask. So we're currently operating in a Periscope e-procurement system. And we look to, over the next year or so, be transferring over to Bonfire. Does that make any difference? I know we got PeopleSoft as our ERP, and I know Irina is on the line too. So I don't know if the impact is of any significance at all, but the fact that we're using Periscope now and we'll be transitioning to Bonfire, does that have any thoughts on how or if that might be a factor in anything?
If I may answer that, but from a procurement standpoint, from a punch out, it doesn't, it will not matter. It just for the, it will matter for solicitation of a new contract, but for the current existing punch out vendors like Grainger, it would not make any difference.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you for
so-
making us aware of that. Because what our sellers will want to make sure is that they're getting notifications, because whether it's Periscope or Bonfire, we just want to be aware when a new bid solicitation is out. But hopefully, again, through this cooperative, it satiates a lot of your bid requirements and the need to go out and do those costly bid processes. We understand that there's some situations where they still need to take place. But hopefully, again, you're not having to do a ton of that because you can leverage the NASPO agreement that is in place. And like I said, if you're not comfortable with the price that you're currently seeing inside of the contract today, Lisette and Manny can always go back and make some additional adjustments to make sure that pricing is not an issue.
Yeah, and with that being said, here are our contact information. Manny's up on the top, then myself, and then we also have a tier 1 customer support that is also available to help. The ePro customer care number is on the bottom. But please use us. We're here. We're out in the field. We live in Broward. Utilize us. We are here to help you to be relevant to what Broward County needs and to what you all need and to make your jobs easier. So anything that we can do to assist, please reach out. Please call us. I will send out this deck to Alexa and she can forward it to everyone. But anything that you need from us, please utilize us.
Thank you all so much. Hopefully you learned something or
Thank you.
Thank you so much to Daryl, Manny, Lizette, and Alicia for a great presentation. And thank you guys for attending another great Lunch and Learn. As I said before, the session was recorded. So when I get this deck from Lizette, I will send it out to everyone, also with a link to our Lunch and Learn playlist. Thank you guys and have a terrific Thursday. Take care.
thank you.
Have a wonderful
Thank
afternoon,
you.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.